The crossroads. Keanu sat alone in his quiet apartment, the soft hum of the city outside barely breaking the silence. His mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, each one more tangled than the last. He had always been known for his calm demeanor, for the way he could navigate the chaos of Hollywood without losing his cool. But today was different. Today he had to make a decision that could change his life forever. He was caught between two worlds. On one side there was Sandra. She was everything Keanu had ever wanted. Beautiful, intelligent, and full of life. Their connection had been instant, a spark that ignited every time they were together. She was kind, funny, and had a heart as big as the world itself. But there was a problem. Their relationship had always been on the edge, teetering between something real and something that was just an illusion. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but something was missing. On the other side was Anna. She was different. She was quiet, reserved. Yet there was a depth to her that drew Keanu in like nothing else. Their connection wasn't immediate, but it was profound. Anna understood him in a way no one else had. She saw through the fame he had built his life on, and instead, she saw the man beneath the surface, the man who had doubts, fears, and desires. She made him feel seen, in a way that was both comforting and terrifying. But now Keanu was stuck. He didn't know how to choose between the two women who had captured his heart. Each woman represented a different future, a different version of himself. Could he be happy with Sandra, the woman who made him feel alive in every way? Or should he choose Anna, the woman who understood him in ways no one else ever could? As he sat there, staring at the empty space in front of him, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Sandra. "Hey, are we still on for dinner tonight?" Her words were simple, but they carried weight. He knew that whatever he decided, it would have a ripple effect on everything around him. He was at a crossroads and he had to choose. The tension builds. As the days passed, Keanu couldn't shake the feeling that something was slipping through his fingers. He had agreed to meet Sandra for dinner that evening, but his mind kept drifting back to Anna. Their conversation earlier that day had left him with more questions than answers. Anna had been distant, almost like she was waiting for him to say something, to make a decision. Keanu couldn't help but wonder if she knew, if she could tell that he was torn between her and Sandra. But every time he looked into her eyes, he saw something else, something that made him feel both guilty and grateful. Anna had never asked for anything from him. She was content just being in his life, supporting him in her own quiet way. Yet, deep down, Keanu knew that she deserved more than that. She deserved someone who could give her everything, someone who didn't have a foot in two worlds. The evening of their dinner came, and Keanu found himself sitting across from Sandra, the weight of his thoughts pressing on him like an invisible force. They talked, laughed, and shared stories, but Keanu couldn't focus. His mind kept drifting to Anna, to the quiet moments they had shared, to the way she had made him feel when the world outside had faded away. As they parted ways, Sandra kissed him on the cheek, her smile bright and genuine. But Keanu couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He had been with Sandra for so long, but he didn't feel complete. It was like they were two puzzle pieces that didn't quite fit together at work. But he knew deep down that he couldn't keep pretending. The truth revealed. It was late, and Keanu couldn't sleep. He sat on his couch, scrolling through his phone, when he saw a message from Anna. "Keanu, I need to talk to you. Can we meet tomorrow?" His heart skipped a beat. He had been waiting for this moment, but now that it was here, he wasn't sure he was ready for the truth. The next day, they met at a quiet cafe, the kind of place where no one would recognize them. Anna was already there, sitting in the corner with her coffee. She looked up as Keanu walked in, and for a moment, their eyes locked. There was something in her gaze, something that made Keanu's heart ache. He knew what was coming. He could feel it in the air, thick with unspoken words. "Keanu, I know you're torn," Anna began, her voice steady but soft. "I can see it in your eyes. You've been distant, and I can't keep pretending that everything is okay. I care about you, Keanu, more than you know. But I can't keep living in the shadows, waiting for you to make a decision." Keanu swallowed hard. He had never wanted to hurt her, He had never wanted to be the source of her pain. But he had been selfish. He had been so consumed with his own confusion that he hadn't considered how his indecision was affecting her. "Anna, I'm sorry," he said, his voice cracking. "I never meant to hurt you. I'm just lost." Anna smiled faintly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "It's not about hurt, Keanu. It's about honesty. I can't keep waiting for you to figure things out. I need someone who can give me all of them, not just part of them." Keanu sat there, the weight of her words settling in his chest. For the first time in a long while, he felt like he was seeing things clearly. He had been running from the truth, but Anna had exposed it for him. He couldn't keep playing this game. He had to make a choice, and he had to do it now. The decision weighed heavily on Keanu as he drove back to his apartment that night. He had talked to Anna, and he had heard what she said, but he still didn't know what to do. Part of him wanted to go back to Sandra, to the life he had built with her, to the safety of what he knew. But another part of him knew that he couldn't keep living in the past. He knew he needed to be honest with himself. He needed to face the truth, no matter how painful it might be. And the truth was that he wasn't in love with Sandra the way he had once thought. Their relationship had become comfortable, predictable, but it lacked the spark that he had with Anna. With Anna, everything felt new, like they were discovering each other every day. As he arrived home, he pulled out his phone and dialed Anna's number. It rang once, twice before she picked up. "Keanu," she said softly. "Anna," he replied, his voice steady. "I've made my decision. I choose you. I want to be with you." There was a long silence on the other end, and Keanu held his breath. "Are you sure?" Anna asked, her voice trembling slightly. "Yes," Keanu said, his heart pounding. "I'm sure. I want to be with you. No more running. No more hesitation." The aftermath. Keanu and Anna spent the next few days talking, reconnecting, and building something new together. It wasn't easy, and there were moments of doubt, but they were both committed to making it work. They learned to communicate, to share their fears and hopes, and to support each other through the tough times. As for Sandra, Keanu had to have a difficult conversation with her. He had to explain his decision, and he had to be honest about why he couldn't continue their relationship. It was painful, but he knew it was the right thing to do. Sandra deserved someone who could give her everything, and Keanu couldn't be that person. In the end, both women walked away from the situation with their own dignity and respect. It was a hard lesson for Keanu, but it was one he needed to learn. Life wasn't about choosing between two people. It was about being true to himself, about finding the person who made him feel whole. Moving forward, Keanu and Anna built a life together, one day at a time. They faced challenges, but they faced them together. Keanu learned the value of honesty, of being true to himself, and of not letting fear dictate his choices. He had learned that love wasn't about perfection. It was about vulnerability, trust, and being willing to give yourself fully to someone else. And as he looked back on that pivotal moment, the moment when he had to choose between Sandra and Anna, he realized that the hardest decisions were often the ones that led to the greatest rewards. He had chosen love, not just for Anna, but for himself. And that, in the end, was the most important choice of all. And as Keanu stood there, looking at the life he had built, he realized that sometimes the toughest choices lead to the most beautiful outcomes.